Welcome to free training TRISHOOL sessions. In the last session, we discussed about the JavaScript methods. Sorry, not methods. JavaScript. That is different session, right? Yeah. 1 second. What we discussed? Yeah, we discussed about data types and arithmetic operators, comparisons, and other stuff, which means very basic. So even we discussed about console.log and alert. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a little bit about JavaScript functions, and I'll give you an introduction to DOM structure elements, like what is DOM structure, what are the elements. So once you understand what is DOM structure, then it's easy for you to manipulate it to capture the data from the website. Let's say you have this website. Hold on. 1 second. Go here. Control T. Control V. What? Hold on. Next. Home page. Okay. So now if you see this website, basically this is a domain selling website. In this website, if you can see here, here I have this link. If I want to change that link, I don't need to go to CSS. I mean, basically, if I have to if I want, but using JavaScript also, you can capture that specific element and change its CSS. So first of all, let me explain you what is DOM structure. DOM structure is nothing but a HTML page, HTML structure. So this is DOM. The whole structure is called DOM structure. So it starts from opening HTML tag to close tag. So we call it DOM when it opens in the browser. So usually how things will happen in here in the website is first any browser, most of the browsers will load first all the entire structure, which means the only HTML structure, not the data inside in it. Right now we have a data right inside this container. Blah blah blah. Go inside. Go inside. Go inside. So here inside ampersand NBSP, NBMSP, whatever it is, this is the content. Right. So this is the content. This will not load first. First the whole DOM structure will load, and then after that content will load. So images slowly will load. That's the reason if you see any open web, if you open any website in a slow network issues, in a slow network places, you will see the whole page, but the images are still loading, right? So whatever the content, fast content can be loaded, it can be loaded, and also after that images will load one by one. I mean the content, image itself is a content here. You can even control that loading strategy also using JavaScript. But anyhow, we're not touching that right now. So now I want to change the specific link. Let's say I'm just clicking here. Here, I want to change this after loading the website. Oh, 1 second. You're not listening to me. 1 second. Guys, is my voice not audible? This is just a website. Um, it's a domain selling portal. Okay. Which I've been building quite long period. Anyway, so this is a portal where I just want to, if I want to change this website name, after loading the website, which means I have already there everything in HTML and everything is fine. But when after loading, I just wanted to somehow I wanted to change after loading, after 5 minutes or 6 minutes. This link this link should change to website maintenance to website something else, maybe some services something. Can I do that? Yes. Before you doing that, you need to capture that specific, you need to get into that specific element. So that's the reason we have IDs in JavaScript. So if I want, if I would have given ID to that A, all I can say is document.getElementById of so and so, and dot HTML is equal to so and so. We will get to know what I'm talking now. So in a few minutes. Um, that is called DOM manipulations, which means you can change DOM structure also. You can change DOM element whenever you want. So on the processing, like website is running, so you can change whenever you want. So let's get into an example. This is I just wanted to show you what is DOM structure, nothing else. This DOM structure is nothing but HTML structure. There is no, uh, logic in that, like something it is different or something like that. No, it's a pure HTML structure. Anyway, this is the okay. I don't want to talk about this website right now. Let's take a new website. Go here. Go here. DOM manipulations. So now, oh shit, okay, I have to save it as a HTML file. OF, save as. Go here, all files, DOM manipulations. .html. So since all these are examples, I'll be working in internal JavaScript. I'm not creating an external. Okay. HTML. Go here /HTML. Head. Head. Body. Body. Now let's take a script tag. As usual, as you know, type is equal to text slash JavaScript, which is not required if you have given a element HTML5 element. I think it was. Just go through Google. I'm not sure about it. Anyway, script main concepts. Those basic concepts, underlying concepts, theoretical concepts you can learn just by Googling it. Just what are the HTML5 specifications or something like that. Just Google it and learn. Then you can do much better actually, even than me. Script type is equal to text slash JavaScript. So now where all I'm doing is simple. Let's say I'm taking a div element. Okay, beautiful. Coorg is one of the beautiful tourism place in Karnataka. I liked it. Karnataka. Right. So now I'm going to give an ID saying that ID is equal to okay, here is the thing. Tourism. I just named it as a tourism. Beautiful. So let's open this page. Right click, open with, click here. Excellent. Now Cook is one of the trainer arrived. Oh, okay, maybe Anita. So this is the text. I have to, let's say I want to change this text. So let me go here. After clicking, let's say I need, what is it? Yeah, I have opened a notepad. Click here. And I say I have one more href. I'll just say href is equal to blah 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 a. All I'm doing is on click click is equal to change text, change content. So make sure that there are predefined functions. Make sure that you are not giving those predefined functions. This is my custom function which I am giving right now. I'll explain you what is function before after this. First I want to show you how the DOM manipulation works. So now what happens when I click? Let me check first of all whether the function is working or not by saying console.log. Hey, this is working. Whatever. Now save it, go here, select here, refresh. Hold on, I have not given any content, right? Click me. When I say click me, check inspect element console. Nothing is happening because the function itself not calling. Let me open here in Notepad++, which avoid any confusions because I'm addicted to Notepad++. See here, not content. Someone else arrived? No. So here is the thing. First of all, as I told before, like the whole HTML structure will load after the DOM structure. After everything, the DOM will load. So here, since okay, Anita, I guessed since you said it's an online trainer. Cool. Console.log. Hey, this is working. Since I'm just calling on click is equal to change content, and there is a spell mistake. Go here, refresh here, click here. Still the function is still not working. On click is equal to change content, and the function change content. Is someone else talking? No. Okay. When I call this function, it's supposed to call this function, but it is still not calling it. It will call it. I'll tell you the technique. Actually, we should not put this at the bottom. Usually, it should be always in the header. There are a few reasons that we need to use it at the bottom, which is not for a clicking event, of course, but there is a what is it? You should know the onReady function. So basically, when you are writing any JavaScript, you need to make sure that the whole DOM structure has been loaded. So otherwise, if the element is not loaded, then whatever the script you have written to that element won't work. But anyway, here in this case, it is very straightforward. The function is calling only after the element loaded, and which is written inline JavaScript. So this is the reason I don't use inline JavaScript. Anyway, so now what I have written, console.log function calling. This is correct. Go here, refresh, click. That's working. But somehow so it is displaying fine. Hey, this is working when I click. So which means I click 28 times. That's the reason it is displaying 28 times. If it is a different text, it will come below it. So let's say instead of here this, I'll show you. Today I'll just introduce you three functions, only three functions to avoid any confusions. Where cc is equal to document.getElementById. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to capture a specific element based on ID, right? So what is the ID here? ID, yeah, this tourism. Just go here, come here, set. So what I'm doing here is document.getElementById of tourism. Hey, if you find an ID of tourism inside the document, capture that element, store it in a CC. So now here the tricky part you need to remember is whatever the end result of this statement always will be a it's a string. It's not a string actually. It's an object. It's not an array. So because if it is an array, you will be having a multiple values inside in it. But since ID is unique in the entire document, there is no way that you have a multiple number of IDs. Let's say if tourism is there, I told you ID is unique. You should not take another ID. ID is equal to tourism for another any element in the entire document, in the entire page. Even if you have 100 includes or something, you need to make sure that in 100 include pages there is no duplicate ID. So that's very important with respect to JavaScript. So that's the standard validation process also. So you need to make sure single unique ID. You want something else, give a different ID name, but you should never use tourism other than here. Simple. Anyway, now let me show you what is inside console inside console dot inside CC. Right, go here, refresh. Oh, one second, I think I missed something here. Where CC document dot get element by ID of tourism, where CC is equal to so and so, and this is semicolon, not dot. My bad. Yeah, go here, refresh, click me. Something wrong is happening here. There is okay, my mouse issue, I guess. Anyway, when you say click me, as you can see there, I'm able to capture the whole div element. When I say click me, I got whole the div element, which means now I can change that div element into anything. Let's say I'm going to change the div element content into something else by writing inner HTML. I'll just make this hash to avoid any complexions. Now go here, cc dot inner HTML is equal to I'll say instead of Coog, I'll go for Chikmagalur. Now go here, save it, refresh, click here. If you see here at the top, when I click on that, the top text has been changed, right? If you want to check again, refresh the page. Now see when I click what happens. So basically what I'm doing is on clicking, I'm changing something, some content in the page, which means that is called DOM manipulation. So you can even add a new content. Sorry, you can even add a new content to it. You can even append it. Actually you replaced it here, but you can even also append it. We will talk about that little after a while, but first you should know the difference between. There are few functions that you should know the difference between. So now we have been captured by element. Sorry, using ID. There are cases that you might need to capture through classes also. There are cases that you don't find an ID or class anywhere in the document. How can you capture that element? There might be a possibility of using tag. So let's say I'm going to add a few paragraphs, a little bit. Okay, Alabedu is one of the best tourism place where beautiful, whatever, where it has a beautifully architect temple. Uh, Now Nandi Hills, since I'm talking about my Karnataka, I'll talk about only Karnataka for a while. Nandi Hills is a 1 hour drive from Bangalore. Fine. Like that, I'll just add a few more, whatever. Sungeri is a beautiful temple. Whatever, blah blah blah. You will find Joke Falls near Shimoga, whatever. So now these are the paragraphs that I have listed here, right? Anyway, I just wasted time to type and all. Next time I'll just make sure we'll bring in something. Why we are giving a statement again assigning to a cc dot inner HTML. Okay, Nagavamshi. Okay. Eris Halebadu, that's not, you can ask me again later, Chakravarti. Why we are going, why we are giving a statement again assigning, 1 second. No, not you, I'll explain you, Vamshi. Why we are giving statement again assigning to cc.innerHTML. See, basically what we are trying to do here is, what is cc here? Cc is a div element we have captured, and we want to change the text of that. So that's the reason we are using inner HTML. Inner HTML function will replace the content whatever it is inside. It's not going to add to it. It will completely replace the content inside in it. So that's the reason we are using inner HTML. So there is one more option you might wonder. There is one more option. You might wonder, this inner HTML can also be used to capture the content of the element. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I can say where I'll take one more one more element is equal to cc dot inner HTML. So what is the difference between this statement and this statement? Here in this statement, I am replacing this data with this. Sorry, I'm replacing this data into div element, right? But here I am getting the data of div element. When I say cc.innerHTML, if I console.dd, I'll get the Chikmagaluru into my context, which means I can do it whatever I want with the text also again. So either you replace the existing content or you can capture the existing content and do whatever you want to do it with this content and again put it somewhere else. So basically this inner HTML can be used in multiple two ways. One is to storing, one is to assigning. To capturing, one is to assigning. We can replace the content, we can capture the content. Simple. I'm just consoling it so that we can see it, the output. So I'll stop console.log using console.log maybe from tomorrow's session to avoid confusions. So once you understand why I'm using console dot, again I'll start using it. Anyway, click me. As you can see here, it is displaying. Previously it was displaying when you click on, it was displaying div element and everything. That is whole element. It has captured whole element and keep it. But now what I did is, hey, I don't want any element. I want only content inside in it. So I just stored it, and of course this has been replaced. If you see here, Kurg is replacing. When I click it, that's the one task which I have given. And the second task is capture the data after the replacing, whatever the data I want to see it. I mean, not in the main web, in the output. I want to see it in a console, something like that. So just click here. I can see, oh, my text is replaced. I'm not aware that, of course you can see here itself, it doesn't make any sense, but I just wanted to tell you how the inner HTML works. Okay. Hold on. Someone is saying something. Anita tried to put double quotes in tourism. You mean here? Yeah, Anita.
Double quotes.
For what? Here?
For displaying the CC variable value in the console.log. I'm just trying. I don't know exactly.
You can use both actually. So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you mean to say that if I give here double quotes, I can display only the text.
Means without using inner HTML, if I want to display CC value in the console.log,
You mean to say I have to use double quotes?
uh, I don't know exactly, so just asking it out.
No.
In a console.log, declare CC. In console.log, declare CC. In console.log.
Actually, it doesn't matter whether you give double quotes or single quote. It's always
Oh.
get the element because it won't recognize like till you're getting the element only, not the value. This is the second console.
Mm,
If you
that is
want,
the second
if you
console.
want, if you want this text, Chikmagaluru is one of the beautiful whatever the text. If you want, you need to tell 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 to it says inner HTML. I want content inside div element. You cannot simply get into it just using double quotes. You have to go through other this inner HTML. One or two. If you still have a doubt, I'll remove the second console. What I'm doing. Refresh it. Click here. You can see. Still you are getting a development only, not the content. If you want the content, you need to use the inner HTML. Then cc.inner. Okay. Yeah. Next. Now we are going to. Once again, I'm muting you, Anita. If you have any questions, you can ask me again. Unmute again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, where dd is equal to document.get element Instead of elements, I'll say elements by class. So here is the thing that you need to remember one thing. If it says any function, like this is a function, this function is not created by me, or this function, these functions are predefined functions specifically for JavaScript. So this is getElementById. Since ID always unique, you will never get a plural. Remember, since the ID is always unique, you will never get a plural for the elements. Class is not unique. Class might be used a multiple number of times in a document. You can use single class 100 times also. That's the reason we are saying get elements by class name, right? And there is one more function. I'll explain you. Get elements by tag name. Sorry, not tab. It's tag. Okay. So see here. I'll say dd. It says ed. So now this is most important that you need to understand here. Always remember plural comes only for classes and tag name. So in that way it's easy for you to remember. Get element by ID, get elements by class name, get elements by tag name. Anyway, I have not given any classes so far. So let's try to give some classes somewhere. Class is equal to temple. Okay. I'll just give class. This is also temple. So run. Class is equal to visiting place, whatever. V place. I'll say class is equal to V place. Now go here. I'll just say class is equal to V place. Now, if you see here, inside this, I'm going to put using single quote or double quote. You can use anything. It doesn't matter. Go home. Here again. I'll just use again to give you a confident level. I can use something like this. Yeah. So now a temple, a V place. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's a tag name, right? It's a paragraph. See, the value which you are giving inside is most important. If it's an element ID, you have an element ID, use ID only inside. Don't use any other thing. Here also class name, you use only class name. Here tag name, which means you can use any HTML tag name. Not only paragraph, you can use paragraph div, a whatever, body, header, whatever you want, you can use it. Doesn't matter. So now Control C, I'll just say again EE, I'll just make it FF. Okay, now beautiful. So I'll remove all the console.logs, I'll remove all the inner HTMLs, I don't need anything now. Fine, beautiful. Now I have already collected, I have captured all the class names. Okay, one second. All the class names in the sense, two class names, one is temple, one is replace, and of course I have captured paragraph elements. First I want to see now how many classes are there, right? I just wanted to understand how many classes are, let's say temple is there, how many temple classes has been given inside the website. You know, like we know, like basically we have two, but let's say if you have a huge template, it's difficult, right? If you are having a very big HTML page, it's difficult to figure out. So now what I can do is, all I can say here, first of all, let me open console.log and say dd. When I say dd, go here, refresh page, click here. Hold on, something is wrong. Uncut reference error, document is not defined. One second. This is where the loading issue comes. That's how we need to fix it right now. document.getElementsByClassName is equal to temple. These are all correct. The problem here is, remember, this is what I was talking about, loading. Let's say here, first this is loaded, after that this is loaded. So these pages have not yet loaded. When I try to click this change content. So what do I mean? When I click this, it is accessing a temple, right? But temple is not yet loaded actually. Temple will load after A, but here it is already loaded. Refresh, all the DOM structure is already loaded. So if I click, it's supposed to work, but it is not working. So now, to avoid these conflicts, I'll just put it at the top. We will talk about that in a coming sessions very clearly because we need to use the DOM ready function. If you want to do anything in JavaScript, you need to write DOM ready function. Otherwise, it's going to be a hectic job for you, whether it is loading, whether it is loaded or not, something like that. Anyway, issue is not that. Issue is spell mistake. Document. So please, if you find, if I type any spell mistakes, try to point me immediately. So it will save our time and our perspective, whatever. Click me. Still, 1 second. Did I do something wrong here? Yes, definitely. I'm good at it. Go here, refresh page, click me. So when I say click me, I'm able to get p temple, p dot temple. See, it refers dot. When it says class, it refers dot, so it will say p dot temple. Anyway, so it is showing as an array. If you see here, and if you click this mark, you will see length is 2, which means, hey, whatever the class name temple you ask for, it has been used 2 times by paragraph element. If it has been used by another element, it will say div.temple in 3, but length will show, it will show length 3, something like that. So it will give all the information of what we have captured. So now what we did previously, what we did once we captured the element, we said cc.inner html blah blah blah, we did that. But here you cannot do that directly, because dd is an array. Dd is not a straight object you can use it. So you need to enter into an array, capture the first element, and then give whatever you want to do that. So which means all I need to do is dd of 0 dot, or I don't want to change the content anyway, I'll say dd of 0. First of all, I'll just see only first element. For this, if you can see here, I've got first element. It's not an array anymore. Okay, so actually you can write a loop. Let me show you for loop. It's a very basic. If you are a programmer, then it's easy for you to understand what is for loop. If you are not, then yeah, definitely we are going to discuss about these topics in detail, like what is for, what is I doing, everything we are going to discuss. Anyway, just 1 second. Why I am using for loop? I is equal to 0, I less than dd dot length I plus plus. All I'm doing is console.log of dd of I, whatever, I'm not sure. So here, go here, click here. As you can see, you've got both printout. both paragraphs has been printed out. So that is because I have written a for loop saying that, hey, if you find whatever the temple, if you have 100 classes, capture all those 100 classes and display one by one. So using a loop, if you find a dd.length, 100.length, if it is a dd is length 100, I is less than or equal to 100, whatever, I is less than or equal to 100 and I plus plus. So, and display whatever the one by one individually on I places. So I'll explain you for loop, don't worry, don't confuse. So main important thing you need to understand here is document.by class name, document.by tag name. That's very important. And document.by getElementsById. Mostly you use that. So now let me show you console.log of what happens in FF. In temple we have 2, it has captured 2. But what happens in FF? How many paragraphs we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It will capture all those paragraphs and display. See? 1, 2, 3, 4 as an array. You can click on here to see whole content, what is inside, what's happening, blah, blah, blah. You will get know what is first child, class name, everything. ID is not there anyway. So it will take inner HTML, inner text also there. So these are the important functions that you need to know before we entering into any DOM manipulation. So which means if I want to do any manipulations, you need to make sure you need to know these 4 functions. Because we are going to play with these 4 functions mostly, like even in a real-time scenario you will use these functions. Mostly you use most of like 80% you use these functions only. But if you're using any other framework like jQuery, AngularJS, so they have shortened the coding system, so you don't need to worry about writing document or get element by ID tag name, blah blah blah, something like that. They have simply given some dollar symbol and simply access any element in the document by just providing its symbol like hash or dot or tag or whatever it is. So since we're not talking about jQuery or anything else, we just do it hard way so that if we learn a basic JavaScript, it's easy for us to understand any framework. Okay, so I want you guys to practice on this. So remember that there is a reason behind that I used on-click function here, though which I have not explained what is function and you know and how the event trigger and everything. Just for the time being, what you can do is use onClick. This is a method, onClick, and give a method function name and use it here and write whatever the JavaScript you want to test. I'll explain you in upcoming sessions about the function and trigger events and everything, so it's easy for you to understand. So this is to test your skills of understanding, these 4 functions, manipulation functions, along with the inner HTML. I think I've explained cc dot inner HTML. You see here, I'm going to use, in the previous thing I've used it for replacing. Now I can say console.log, just say refresh the page, go here, refresh the page, select element. If I click here, console, as you can see, Cook is one of the best beautiful, which means I'm able to get the data and display it, which means instead of console.log, I can store it in some variable and do whatever I want to do with that content, which means I can capture anything on real-time basis. Like let's say website is running, I can let's say I've got 50 visitors, or let's say I've got let's say an user entered data a paragraph where it has you know adult words or whatever it is. So I need to capture all the words when the website so I don't want to change in the database level. I want to say, hey, if that page opens, if I find any adult word, I'll say strike it off. I can do it. Simple. I can capture all the adult words from the content. If I find this inside this paragraph, if I find a sex word or something, I strike it off, something like that, or hide it, something. You can do anything using JavaScript in the real time, you know, in the real time basis. That's the reason it has become more popular. And the thing is, of course, JavaScript is, many people are not using JavaScript because we are lazy enough to write hundreds of lines of code. So that's the reason we easily adapt the frameworks like jQuery, Backbone JS, or Angular JS, anything. But the core basic, everything for all those frameworks, the core basic is JavaScript. If you know JavaScript, you'll at least try to understand something. You can understand yourself or those frameworks. So um, that's the that's it for today's session. But if you have any questions, I think I think you might have confused a little bit with respect to inner HTML. But if you're not, that would be great. Anyone have questions? This is a very short session today. That is because these four are very important functions. We are going to use it regularly in upcoming sessions. So you need to practice it. Just right now after this session, try to get into HTML file and create your own HTML file. Try to get the data, take some dummy content like paragraphs, not only paragraphs, divs, bold, anchor tags. Take as many elements as you want. Try to capture the data and try to display it, or try to activate the try to use only on-click event for the time being, because since you don't know anything about if you don't know anything about functions, just try to use the same way which I have given. Uh, and I'm going to upload this yesterday's I think yesterday video I have uploaded, but I have not updated to the site elearninghome.com. I am going to update everything today since I don't have I'm not going anywhere, so I don't have any hurry to do so. I'll be uploading all the videos, all the exercise files, and also all the assignments I'm going to create. I'll add the assignments to the elearninghome.com in a moment. So you can start watching the videos using these exercise files and also doing the assignments which I'm giving. But I request you to go through these functions, practice them, come up with the questions. You'll definitely post in the group, so you can ask. People will help if I'm not available. Otherwise, I can help if I am available. I'll give you 2 minutes, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Sarita, are you okay? Okay, Nagavamshi, are you okay? Anita, Chakravarti. Awesome. Okay, fine. Thank you all. Thanks for your time. Have a great day, everyone.